Jews. They crucified two robbers with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "So, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, come down from the top and save yourself." In the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him among themselves. "He saves others," they said, "but he can't save himself. Let this Christ, this King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. At the 6th hour, darkness came over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those standing near heard this, they said, "Listen, he's calling Elijah." One man ran, filled a sponge with wine vinegar, put it on a stick, and offered it to Jesus to drink. "Now leave him alone, let's see if Elijah comes to take him down," he said. With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. And when the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus heard his cry and saw how he died, he said, "Surely this man was the Son of God."
Lord, you've spoken to us. Let us now be quiet. Sit up. These verses mean for us, Jesus has done, those who thank you, that we may be our worthy and praise of you. Amen. Now, you probably notice, sort of celebrity court cases, it's not high profile before it's a lot of media coverage. When people come out after perhaps a decision's been made or even beforehand, and they stand on the steps of the court, they often read a prepared statement. A statement written so they can clearly state what's going through their minds, what they've been feeling, rather than what the emotions And I'm sure you've probably seen that on the news lately and heard them read out as well. Well, today in Psalm 22, we read a prepared statement. A prepared statement written about 1,000 years before it was needed. But it's written to help us get a clear explanation of what is happening, how the person was feeling, and the outcome and their response. Because if you read the first line of this psalm, Psalm 22, my God, why have you forsaken me? It's easy to recognise who said those words. They're the words of Jesus on the cross, as we had read to us from our first reading. And as Jesus says those words on the cross, not only says it, but he experiences what is going on in Psalm 22. He's forsaken by them. He's alone. He's surrounded by people who are acting like wild animals. He's made, he's mocked, he's naked, he's ashamed. Here's a man who's been obedient to God from the beginning, but is now facing death. So, as we read Psalm 22, they are the words of Jesus. And that helps us see when Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me? He's not complaining. He's not crying out of disappointment. He's not crying out of surprise. He's reading a prepared statement. He quotes those words to help us understand what it is. He quotes Psalm 22. So I want to have a look at that to help us understand. The psalm written by a predecessor, an ancestor of Jesus, King David. Now we don't know what caused David to write this. We don't know exactly what he was going through at the time, but as he wrote it also prophetically. He quoted and lived out fully in his intended words. What he wrote was real for him and real for Jesus. And so it helps us understand what's going on. And so I want to look at it in three sections. Firstly, the king alone, then the king victorious, and then the king who is speaking. And so the first 18 verses we had read to us are really heart-wrenching of a person who is alone, who's forsaken by God and by people. And we read that as how agonising in verse 1, I cry out in anguish, so far from my words and my groaning. Verse 6, scorned and despised by people. Verse 7, mocked and insult. Verse 11, there's trouble, no one to help me. Verse 12, enemies like wild animals, wolves surrounding me, roaring lions, circling, tearing, piercing me. This is a man against the mob, and he's losing. Verse 14, I'm poured out like waters, all my bones out of joint, my heart is turned to wax, is melted away. There's no sugarcoating it. He's facing all this from his enemies. Now, David has faced a lot of enemies before. He's a king, he's had to fight against people who tried to stop him. He's faced enemies, they've mocked him, they've tried to shame him. But every time he's gone into battle, he's gone with God by his side. But the worst thing is, it's not just that he circles the mobs out to get him, but God has forsaken him. Verse 1, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me? So far from my words, the words of my groaning. Oh my God, I cry out by day that you do not answer. By night, not silent. You see, David is always going to cry out to God and help him. But here, as you look through Leaf, there's nothing. So what does he do? Well, he sort of, let's remember the character of God. Verse 3, you are enthroned as the Holy One. You are the praise of Israel. Yeah, we remember God's a good God. He's a mighty God. He's enthroned, he's charged. And so he looks up. But as well looking up, he looks back. He remembers the lesson from the past. The fathers look verse 4, but they trust in you. They trust in you. You deliver them. They cry to you and you save. And you they trust them not to survive. Remember history. And you can read the Old Testament and you see that time and time says, you know, I've trusted God from the very beginning. From his mother's womb, God has been his God. And so if you don't do all those things, you can expect to be saved. Do not be ashamed. But here, he is shamed. His trust has been lost. And it's not been saved. God has not acted as he or maybe even where he is. He was a man to suffer. Trouble with him, and there is no one there. Amazing feelings expressed before us. Again, as I said, I don't know exactly what Dave went to the right of Psalm, but we know exactly what Jesus went through, didn't he? The words of the Psalm are the words of the cross, and the events of the cross. Jesus, the Saviour, there was no one there to help him. All his friends, his disciples, they ran off. He's an innocent man who trusted God from the very beginning, not just from the word, but for eternity. Here he is suffering. He walked on the cross, didn't he? Let the Lord rescue him, let him deliver him, let him down. He's mocked for trusting in God. He's encircled by the crowd. He's naked on the cross. His bones are exposed. His hands and his feet are pierced. And that's the sort of prophetic moment of the crucifixion, wasn't it? Even the thing thought about it, David. His clothes are divided up, the cast, the lots, by lots fallen. And so we see what happens, but I think the most critical element is in the end of verse 15. The verse 15, my strength is dried up like a potsherd, my tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth, you lay me in the dust of death. Now we know for David, he didn't die, but he knows his son, although he may have felt close to him. But for Jesus, he did die. He was laid in the dust of death, laid in the tomb. And verse 15 says, you laid in the dust of death. You, God, the one I turn to, allowed me to die. Rather than rescue me like he did in the past, his faithful service, he died. So when Jesus quotes Psalm 22, he reads this prepared statement, he wants us to understand what's going on. He's dying. God is alive. Now, the band, it's terrible. So we're reading in verse 18, but of course he's done. It doesn't stop at that there. Well, there is something else. There is wine. This king, though he dies, he is victorious. From verse 19 on. So let me read some of that. But you, O Lord, do not far off, I may strength, come quickly to help me. Deliver my life from the sword, my precious life from the power of the God. Rescue me from the mouth of the lion, save me from the horns of the wild oxen. And see those words, never given up on God. And always trust, even in that moment of aloneness. Come quickly to help me, deliver me, rescue me, save me. And then, verse 22, I will declare your name to my brothers in the congregation of praise. You who fear the Lord, praise him. All you descendants of Jacob, honour him. Revere him, all you descendants of Israel. For he is not despised as the saying the suffering of the afflicted one. He has not hidden his face from him, but has listened to the cry of help. He talks about the future, he talks about life. He declares God's name to the assembly because even though he died, God has not hidden his face. He's not despised the suffering of the afflicted one, but he has seen what's going on, heard his cry. See, whatever David went through, he was rescued. He went to that dark spot, but God pulled him out. God was consistent with his word, and he rejoiced in his salvation. His prepared statement from Jesus says, yes, I went, I was alone, I died. open the way for people to come and see. His death broke the power of death. And who did he die for? Well, verse 29. Well, let me read from verse 25. And he comes to me with my praise and greatest sin, because those who fear you will I fulfill my name. Before the leader be satisfied, they will seek the Lord. Those who seek the Lord with praise him, may your hearts live forever. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations will bow down before him. For dominion belongs to the Lord, and he rules over them. For the rich of the earth will feast and worship, all who go down to the dust will kneel before him, those who cannot keep themselves alive. You see, his humiliation and death were for those who cannot keep themselves alive. Those who also will have to go down to the dust. The dust of the earth, the dust of the same word. It's the dust. We'll have to kneel before Jesus as Lord, so we can feast in that heavenly banquet. We don't deserve it. You see, Jesus honoured God from the very beginning. We don't. We keep sinning. We keep looking after other gods for satisfaction, for money, for things in this world. We don't deserve to be there. But God in his mercy, the one who never deserved it, Jesus died in our place, so we who cannot think ourselves away can have eternal life. He is the victory that defeated Satan for our sins, so we will never have to be forsaken. One who suffered alone, so we will never suffer alone. And that leads us to the third verse. King who is faithful. Yeah, he stood alone, so we can stand with him to eternity. All who fear the Lord. We concluded, we read the descendants of Jacob, the faithful people of Israel, verse 23. But of course, verse 27, all the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord. All the families of the nations will bow down before him. He can raise his Lord over everybody. Every knee will bow, and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Psalm 22, that prepared statement tells us this is the outcome. God through all of this so that people can have life. Jesus has died and stood alone and faced it so that we will never have to stand alone. But we can gather with him and look forward to it. Because of Jesus' faithfulness, he pays the price of our sins. He's covered in full to help raise us people from all nations to come into his church. That's what the death of Christ is all about. That's the prepared statement. I'm dying alone, forsaken by God. He's not going to help me. He's not going to save me. He's not turning his back on me, but he's allowing me to die so that I can have life. Raise and share that life with you. That's what it's all about. So how do we respond? Well, the Psalm tells us in verse 23, you hear the Lord, praise him. Verse 27, bow down before him. He rules over all the nations. Where to worship him. Where to acknowledge and hear that this is our Lord. Where to honour him because he's the God who rescues us. And he is willing to suffer the country judgment we deserve. He paid the price that justice deserves himself. We rejoice in that mercy and grace. We let that wash over us. We thank God. But in the face of death, Jesus was willing to pay for us. He went through the agony of God, not being out of his life. So we can always be part of God. We can thank God that we can look forward to feasting with you through eternity because of what he did. And we're to proclaim that righteousness. Verse 30, prosperity will serve you. Future generations will be told about the Lord. They will proclaim his righteousness to the people you don't serve. But he has taken by God from the eternity. Raised again so we can share in that life. He has done it. He's done what we need. We can hold fast to that fact. And no matter how bad things get here in this fallen world, we have this hope. We'll never be alone. Now, there'll be times in our life where we will feel forsaken. We'll wonder where God is. Perhaps all alone like that person that our mentioned in here. We may even be surrounded by enemies, trying to harm us. We'll be mocked. We'll be shamed for our trust in Jesus. Perhaps you already have. No, snide remarks on our Christian, your God. That what you believe. But because of Jesus is here to come from the truth, you know that we'll never be forsaken. God. You hear his faith, he allows Jesus to die, so he'll never hide his face from us. We know we can trust him. We know that we will feast and worship him for eternity, regardless of what happens here on earth. That is great. So I think the story I was told by, read by Ray Galileo, Anglican president, of a woman in his church out of Blacktown who was a single parent of 2 boys. And she found out she had a tumour in the uterus. She was in pain for 2 years. She finally died. But just before she died,